There's nothing more painful than watching potential slip through your fingers. Founders, investors, leaders, all of you have felt it. The burning frustration when you sit across the table from someone you know should be your partner, your co-creator, yet something's off. The awkwardness that grows, the silent doubts that pile up like debt nobody wants to talk about. You keep asking yourself, why, after all this time, all the pitches, all the meetings, the energy, the blood, sweat, and sleepless nights, why isn't this partnership sparking? Why does it feel like a mismatch? Because here's the brutal truth nobody talks about. Your success doesn't just hang on strategy or numbers. It dangles on something much more primal, raw, and invisible: founder-investor chemistry. This invisible force, or energy, can make or break a startup before a single customer is acquired or revenue hits the books. Not convinced? Think about every horror story of capital raised but trust lost. Teams broken because the founder and investor never really clicked beyond the surface. Deals sealed but expectations shattered. This chemistry, it isn't luck. It's a muscle, a skill, a fine sensor of alignment that needs to be trained, sharpened, and trusted with your life. And if it's missing or ignored, there's no spreadsheet, pitch deck, or visionary idea that will save you. So, listen closely. Here's how to not only spot this chemistry early, but how to own that energy like a weapon in your fight for startup triumph. First, reject the fantasy everyone sells you, that numbers and valuations alone drive success. They don't. Your gut, your vibe, your shared fire with your investor is the real currency. That's what fuels long nights, hard choices, and those moments when the whole world seems to scream at you to quit. In every seed round and investment conversation, ask yourself, does this person get me? Not just intellectually, but deep down? Can they handle your raw ambitions and your darkest fears? Because if not, you're inviting disaster. This is about radical honesty. This is about feeling that electric click the moment you start talking, not forcing smiles or pretending everything's fine just to close the deal. Chemistry is brutal. It refuses to be faked or dictated. It demands authenticity. So, founders, before you dream about the cash or network, feel the room. Investors, don't fall for the founder that just recites rehearsed pitches when you want a revolution in your portfolio. Chemistry means shared, unspoken purpose. Secondly, don't confuse agreement with alignment. Investors who nod politely and founders who promise everything just to get the signature, stop. That's poison. Alignment is not about agreement on trivial points. It's about matching on core values, rhythms, and visions for the future. Do you want to build a company that disrupts the system ruthlessly or gradually improves the status quo? Are you ready for war and chaos or slow, careful chess? Chemistry forces each party to lay their most vulnerable beliefs on the table and see if the other can hold that weight. Go beyond the buzzwords and dig into their moral compass, their tolerance for risk, their relentless hunger for change. Here's the brutal exercise. After every meeting, write down what scared you the most about this person, the doubt you tried to ignore. That's where the truth lives. Third, invest in conversation quality over quantity or even qualifications. Sorry, but $1 million check means nothing if you don't have the right talks. Chemistry thrives in real conversations. They're awkward, late-night, brutal, what if we fail and destroy everything talks. Those are the talks that reveal true alignment. So founders, push your investors toward that messiness early. Demand that brutal honesty. Investors, stop pretending to be pals at pitch events and instead schedule raw sessions that dig into fears, motivations, and challenges. This is how the alliance becomes real and indestructible. Trust takes soil that is cracked open by the tough questions. Fourth, don't just rely on face value impressions. The chemistry battle is a marathon, not a sprint. Human nature is wired to present our best selves initially, to hide the cracks. The real test? Time under pressure. So build mechanisms to test your chemistry. Over time. Get small wins together. Create mini challenges or pilot projects before full commitment. See how your partner responds when deadlines slip, when ego bruises, when the unexpected chaos hits like a tidal wave. Will they defend you or disappear? Will they challenge or choke? This is non-negotiable. Because startup life is a relentless stress test of chemistry strength. Prepare for it. Don't skip it. Now here's where it burns. Many waste precious months and years in painful relationships that drain energy, dilute vision, and kill momentum, all because they ignored this invisible electromagnetic pull. But here's the revolution. You don't have to be a slave to luck or vague vibes. Chemistry can be hacked, sculpted, and amplified with brutal focus and relentless practice. Here's how. Create your own chemistry checklist. Simple questions that force you to frame emotional and strategic alignment. Every call, every meeting, every handshake must answer the questions of trust, courage, transparency, and shared agony for the mission. For founders, be ruthless with your energy. Protect it like your startup's oxygen. Recognize that not every investor who throws money at you is worth your soul. Demand that they challenge you, that they raise hard questions, that they become co-fighters in your personal war, not just check signers. The investor who doesn't get why you're willing to risk everything won't stand by you when everything crashes. For investors, embody the warrior spirit of partnership, not the detached wallet. Seek founders who don't just talk disruption but bleed it. Invest time before money. Demand that chemistry before commitment. Your portfolio won't be a collection of numbers, but a network of human fires burning together through storms. Also, dare to trust your gut when it shouts red flags or lights fireworks. Rational analysis is important, but alone it kills the magic. That gut voice is the purest sensor of shared destiny. Don't silence it with over-analysis. Amplify it with real connection. And when the chemistry is right, when that fierce connection kicks in, you build not just a company but a fortress. A place where challenges don't break you, where criticism fuels growth, where every setback is a shared wound and a shared slingshot for the next leap. It's a power most startups never taste, because most founders and investors settle for shallow, safe relationships. This chemistry is the secret weapon the system doesn't want you to discover, because it breaks rules, transcends borders, and destroys old narratives about how capital and ideas meet. It doesn't care about status or legacy, it's raw, charged, and real. So stop wasting your breath on surface-level partnerships that leave you hollow. Stop settling for good enough interactions when the fate of your startup screams for a soul-deep alliance. Understand this. Startup triumph isn't a formula. It's a shared pulse, an electric fire between founder and investor that turns impossible into inevitable. Own that pulse, nurture that fire, and watch your vision rise from the ashes of doubt into unstoppable reality. Your future demands nothing less.